early fathers preserved for the church. So I began to look into it and I was like, oh my goodness, okay. And then when I looked deep into it and I got into my second year of this journey, on the second year, I was like, okay, it's either Catholicism or Orthodoxy for me. I gotta pick. I have respect for the Catholic Church, I'm not gonna lie, there's good history of the Catholic Church, but I got pushed more to Orthodox perspective due to the looking at how the Nicene Creed was preserved without any changes. Also, the teaching on the Incarnation, the seven sacraments, and the church perspective on also liturgy, how liturgy is used in the Orthodox Church, exactly how the early fathers delivered to us. So when I looked into how the doctrine has never changed and always stayed the same in the Orthodox Church, I was like, okay, the Orthodox perspective is convincing me. So then I came to either Oriental or Eastern Orthodox. I was like, we're gonna have to pick one of these. So I look into Christology, incarnation, and I also looked deeply into more doctrinal things, and I began to look at how the mystery of the incarnation of the Oriental side really convinced me a lot more, and how the early fathers teach the more of a Oriental Orthodox perspective on the incarnation. So I looked into the Oriental side, and I got involved with the Oriental Church. Made a couple friends, but as you know, I'm a pretty reserved person. I don't really reach out to people as much. I'm really like keeping myself to my own circle. It's not that I'm antisocial. I just like to keep my circle small because I like to be around people who are more like me and who have the same morals and goals like me. Just so I can keep myself 10 toes, standing on my feet when it comes to my Christian growth and my spiritual aspirations. Because people say when you're with the wrong crowd, you tend to fall in your spiritual growth. So I did that, and then eventually I started connecting with some of my brothers and sisters in Christ who are in Dallas, and a lot of deacons and whatnot, and I ended up finding my way into how I could get a confession father, all these beautiful things, and how to connect with the church. So it's been 2 years now since I've been doing the apologetic stuff, but when we look at all of the things I did on TikTok when it comes to making content about the history of the Ethiopian church, history of Ethiopia in general also, if you guys all know, I started off with just talking about the history of Ethiopia, then I went into the church, and then I started going briefly into the doctrine of the church. So that's how I started my content. And it's really been beautiful. My journey's 5 years I've been on this TikTok platform, and I'm really thankful on how God brought me back to loving Christ. And truly, I believe that if it wasn't for the early fathers, if it wasn't for all of the ancient faith, resources on the ancient faith, I would have not came back to Christ, honestly, because I felt like the Western side of Christianity was not really going deep into the core of Christianity that I really wanted.